Hi, my name's Dave, and in 2016 I received a vision of my death, what death is, and then heaven. I can only describe this as a gift from God. This video is about that gift, what I experienced, what I was given, and at the end I'll tell you what I'm going to share and where I'm going to share it at, so stick around. All right, 1996. I was injured in an accident where I worked. Over the next 6 years, I had 7 operations on my back and neck. And by 2002, I had no feeling from the waist down, no use of my legs. My doctors told me I would never walk again and that I would be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life. And now, fast forward, December 2015. My wife and I found out that our 2-month-old grandson was in the hospital with a broken leg. The state had stepped in, put him with the protective services. So my wife, she goes up to the hospital, talks with the CPS worker, asks if she can bring him home and that we would take care of him, and they agreed. So the state's fine. Brought him home that night. Now, because of my disability and the massive amounts of drugs that I was taking at the time, and other health issues that I had, I wasn't able to work. Except for doctor's appointments, I really never went out of the house. My wife worked some crazy hours, and her schedule was nuts. She would work 4 days on, 1 day off, 5 days on, 2 days off, and it was always changing. And, I was doing most of the day-to-day care of our grandson. And when my wife was at home, we buddied up, teamed up, made sure everything was taken care of, everybody's head was above water, the house was still afloat, and that's how we got through it all, you know. First week of him being here, oh, it was tough. It was nuts. I'd been up for the best part of 6 days without much of any kind of sleep. My wife, she got a day off, so she tried to let me catch up on some sleep. She got called in a day early, so I'm back up and at it again. The second week, really no different than the first. But by the 5th, 6th day, I was done. I was beat. There's just nothing left. And it was about 1:30 or so in the morning, and I just finished feeding my grandson and getting him changed and everything, and I put him up on my chest, and he was falling asleep. And I'm sitting there rocking him, and I look up at the ceiling, and I say, Father, I'll do whatever you want for this child, but I can't do it this way. I'll take care of him, I'll protect him, I'll raise him, whatever you want, I will do. I love him just as he is my own flesh and blood. He's my own son. But I can't do it the way I am. I need help. I can't do this alone. I can't do it anymore. Not this way. And I left it in God's hands. A couple days passed. It was late. My grandson was asleep. He starts crying. I was trying to kind of pull myself together, but I couldn't get out of this dream that I was having. It was like my body's here, but the rest of me is someplace else. So I can't see clearly. I can't really get focused. My head's in a fog, and I end up falling. Now my wife, she's coming in. She steps over me to get to our grandson, gets him out of the crib. She's telling me, get up off the floor, pull yourself back over to the chair. If you can't get back up, I gotta call fire and rescue, and they're gonna have to come and get you back up into your chair. So I'm pulling myself over, trying to get back up in my chair. I finally make it. after she gets through with the grandson, she's bringing him back. She asks, hey, you all right? I'm fine. That's good. What happened? And I don't know. And I asked her, how did we get here? She said, what are you talking about? And I said, how did we get here? Home. How did we get here at home? I wasn't here. We were at the hospital. I saw myself in the hospital, and we were there, and I'm looking for where the IVs were in my hands and my arms, and I was telling her that I had died, and she says, no, it was a dream. We have not been out of the house in a week. You've been here the whole time. And I was like, no, I was at the hospital. I saw it. And she's like, no. And I told her that, I saw myself die, and everything went black. And then I was in heaven, and it was so beautiful. And there was no more pain, and it was just nothing but love and joy and happiness. I want to go back. I don't want to hurt no more. I want to go back to where I didn't hurt. And she's saying, no, you have to stay here. You can't go back. And I said, but I don't want to hurt no more. And she says, I got to go to work. You got to take care of the baby. You got to stay here. And I said, I don't want. She's promised me you'll stay here. And it's like, fine, I promise. I'll stay here. She leaves to go to work. I drift off back to sleep. I don't know how long it was she was gone. She told me later that she was almost to work, and she got this feeling that something wasn't right. So she turns around, comes back home. She comes in, and I'm sitting there in the recliner. She taps my arm. I'm trying to wake up again. It's like I'm not getting out of this dream again, and here I am. I'm stuck trying to pull my head together, and she's come out to the living room. I want to talk to you. Come out here. I don't want to wake up the baby. Come out to the living room. And it's like, yep, okay. She goes out to the living room, and she's waiting for me, and she hears the thumps into the wall and the scrapes along the wall. It's like, okay, well, he's in his wheelchair, running into stuff. He's asleep. That's normal. And it is. I ran into everything. But when I got to where the hallway opened up into the living room, I was standing up. I had walked down the hallway. My wife jumps up, and she comes running up over to me, and she's going to catch me. And, what are you doing? And it's like, well, you said you wanted to talk to me, but you're walking. Yes. You haven't walked in 14 years. You haven't taken a step in 14 years. What are you doing? And it's, well, I'm walking now. I don't know. Okay. Didn't you see your wheelchair next to the recliners? Yes, but I wasn't real sure what it was for. And so and I asked her, why was I asleep in the recliner? And she said, because you can't lay down with all the surgery and all of the work and the illnesses and everything. It hurts so much, and you're not able to breathe, and so you've had to sleep in the recliner for 12 years, maybe more. And it's like, well, okay. So I walk back to our bedroom, and I sit down on a bed and put my feet up, and I lay down, and it's like, well, it doesn't hurt anymore. And she's like, oh my God, what's going on? And I said, I don't know. She says, come out here to the living room. I want to hear about this dream. Okay. So I go out, and I tell her how I saw myself. I was in an emergency room, but I wasn't looking down. I was there walking in and around the techs, the doctors, the nurses. I was listening to everything they said. I could hear the monitor for the heart with the beeps and the blips, and I could see the trace going across, and I heard everybody what they were talking, and then the monitor made that long single tone, and the alarms went off, and I watched the trace flatline, And then I could feel them pushing on my chest. They were doing the CPR. And they're going at it, and I come up by my left side, and there's a doctor up here by my head, and I'm standing next to him, and he's calling the scene. And it didn't take a little while, and he says, "Okay, that's all. It's over. It's done. That's it. Thank you." Everybody starts to leave. A nurse and a tech stay back, and they're removing the IVs and the tubes and getting everything kind of cleaned up a bit. Pull the sheet up here to my chest, put my arms out, my hands on my chest like this. The nurse goes and gets my wife and brings her back in. She's over here at my right hand side. She takes a hold of my right hand, and the nurse and the tech leave. She's holding my hand and she's crying. And she breaks down. She falls onto the ground on her knees, and she's got her hands up over her face, and she's crying into her hands, and she's just rocking back and forth on her knees, and everything's done. I come around the end of the bed, and I'm up in front of her, on my right side, and I'm sitting here. "Hey, look up. No, look up. They made a mistake. I'm not dead. Look up, look up." And she couldn't hear me. And I'm telling her, "Come, I'm not dead. I'm not dead." And something warm starts running down my forehead into my eyes and my cheeks. And I go to wipe it away like this, and my hands, they have blood on them. And that's when everything went black. And I don't mean dark. I mean black. And then I was in heaven, and I was surrounded by a perfect love and a perfect light like I have never felt before. There is a lot to talk about with the death and all that, and they're in heaven, and so I'm going to make that into a separate video. It'll come up next. So be sure to look for it. When everything was said and done, all the illnesses, all of the pain, everything that would have prevented me from being able to take care of my grandson safely, lovingly, and my family was taken away. It was all gone. Being paralyzed, the pain, illnesses, nothing there. I stopped taking the painkillers that morning. Just boom, stopped. With everything that I was on, the doctor that I saw for my pain management, when I told him that what I had done, he said that should have killed me, because I didn't wean off or back down off of it. I just stopped. But I had no withdrawals. I had no symptoms, no ill effects, nothing. So I had other illnesses and health issues, but they didn't interfere with taking care of my grandson or my family. So, and I've had illnesses since, and I've had injuries since. I wasn't made perfect. I was made new, rebuilt. Anyway, I hadn't been injured or ill, so I don't know if you could really call this a near-death experience, but it's similar. Maybe call it a non-near-death experience. But see, I had the same vision twice in one night, and at the end of it, I stood up and walked, and everything that was related to that accident that I was in and that injury that I had, all the illnesses, was gone. There was no more. Some people call it a miracle. it's a gift. The miracle is that God loves me enough to give me the gift, because I didn't deserve it, and I sure didn't earn it, and I could never afford to pay for it. So it has to be a gift just because he loves me. But he loves you too. And he's got lots of gifts for you. But they're going to be gifts that will affect your life, that will be good for you. This was my gift. Your gift will be something else. But it will be a gift of love. And you really can't beat that. But that didn't end what God gave me. Since 2016, I have had close to 36 visions. I've had hundreds of messages from God about different things. And some have come to pass. Some are in the beginning stages of what I saw. So I'm going to share all of the visions that I've had in videos. I'm going to put all of the messages that I have been given on a website that I have created. It's called raised-up.com. You can go there, leave messages, leave comments, watch the videos. If you want to discuss things about what happened to me, you want to talk about things in your life, if you've had similar experiences, great, let's talk. Here's a place to do it. If you have a prayer request, cool. You have only to ask. If you want to offer prayers to someone, great. Share them freely and willingly, just as Jesus did for all of us. There's only one rule. Love thy neighbor as you love yourself. You have to show respect. You respect yourself, you have to respect others. Everyone has an opinion and the right to share it without fear. I don't judge people. I don't judge or condemn any person, their beliefs, their faith, their religion. That's not my job. God, he's the judge. Christ, he's our salvation through forgiveness. Let's let them do their job. We'll do ours. Ours is to share, to give. Charity. Sharing of ourselves with each other without wanting anything in return. God is love. So if you share love with others, you're sharing God. What you do speaks much louder than what you say. So telling people about God's love and showing people God's love is as different as night and day. Come to the website, raised-up.com. See more of the videos, see the messages, share what you have with others. With me, I want to hear. Raised-up.com. Look forward to seeing you there. Thanks.